You're a disgrace. Get out of my house. My father's voice echoed through the hallway as he threw my duffel bag onto the porch. I was 22, a senior in college with a bright future in architecture, and in one night, it was all incinerated. My cousin Chloe sat on our living room sofa, trembling, tears streaming down her face. She looked my parents in the eye and said the words that ended my life. Nathaniel got me pregnant. I laughed at first because it was so absurd. Chloe, stop. We both know that's a lie, I pleaded. But she just buried her face in my mother's arms and sobbed harder. My father didn't ask for proof. He didn't ask for a timeline. He just pointed at the door. My mother screamed that I was a monster. My girlfriend Sophia whispered, "I don't even know who you are," and walked out. I spent the next 15 years in exile. I dropped out of school weeks before graduation. I drove 4 states away and slept in my car. I worked brutal shifts on construction sites until my hands bled. While I was hauling bricks in the sun, my parents were paying for Chloe's education out of remorse for my actions. She married a hotshot lawyer named Alex and lived the perfect life I was supposed to have. Then, the lie hit a wall. Chloe's son, Max, got incredibly ill and needed a liver transplant. Chloe wasn't a match. My brother James offered to donate, thinking he was the boy's uncle. The doctors ran the tests. Then came the silence. The doctor looked at my family and said, "There is no biological relationship between this man and the child. Max wasn't mine. He never was. For 15 years, I had carried the label of a predator and a deadbeat for a child that didn't share a drop of my blood. Suddenly, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. My mother left sobbing voicemails. My brother begged me to come home. Even Sophia reached out. I ignored them all. I moved back to my hometown only to claim what was mine. I found out my father had died a week before the truth came out. He had hired a private investigator to find me, planning to beg for forgiveness, but a heart attack took him first. He left me a bank account with $300,000 and the deed to our old lake house. He died believing I was guilty, but he loved me enough to want me to have a future anyway. That realization broke me. But the real fire started when I met Alex, Chloe's husband. He was a man of the law, and he was disgusted. "She ruined you," he snarled. "Sue her. Drag her into court. Don't let her walk away." I didn't just sue her. I dismantled her. The trial lasted 2 weeks. I sat at the plaintiff's table and watched the town that whispered about me for a decade finally stare at her instead. The jury didn't hesitate. $1.5 million in damages for defamation and lost wages. The judge ordered a public apology. Chloe stood up, her voice thin and brittle, and admitted to the entire courtroom that she had fabricated the pregnancy to cover for her real lover. The real father? Our high school gym teacher, Mr. Halverson. She had protected a predator by sacrificing her own blood. As she spoke, I watched her husband Alex stand up and walk out of the courtroom without a word. He filed for divorce a month later and won full custody of their son. Outside the courthouse, my mother tried to touch my arm. "Nathaniel, please. We were just scared," she sobbed. I looked at her, then at my brother James. "I was 22, I said, my voice like ice. "I begged you to believe me. You let me starve. You let me freeze. You didn't even tell me when Dad died." I walked past them. The silence they gave me for 15 years was the only thing I had left to give back. Chloe is now a pariah. She lost her job, her husband, and her reputation. In our town, they call her Poison. She walks with her head down now, just like I had to. I'm rebuilding the lake house now. The smell of sawdust and the rhythm of the hammer are my therapy. My family still calls, and sometimes I answer, but the conversations are short. I am no longer the boy who was kicked out. I am the man who built his own life, brick by brick, on top of their lies.